That's what he put us on. On an overcast and windy August evening in Fair Oaks, California, the temperatures, they say, are in the 80s, but I don't believe it. It does not feel like 80-degree temperatures right now. Light winds, no, they're actually kicking up a little bit more. Rather interesting conditions. As we mentioned, overcast, there's some smoke in the air due to some nearby fires. But it doesn't matter, because it's time for high school football as we welcome you inside Bella Vista Community Stadium for Game 3 of the 2023 high school football campaign. The Bella Vista Broncos welcome the Ponderosa High School Bruins of Shingle Springs to town this evening. Both teams are coming into the game with one win and one loss. For Bella Vista, the season began here at home that saw a late comeback effort fall just short, but the Broncos bounced back in convincing fashion last week, dominating Hiram Johnson. For Ponderosa, it was just the opposite, a season-opening win at El Dorado Hills, followed by a blowout loss last week at home to Vista del Lago. In fact, they were shut out 42-0. The question is, which team improves to 2-1 tonight? Hello, everybody. George Tharlson along with Aaron Keogh. We're happy to have you along here at Bella Vista Community Stadium. Getting started a little bit early this evening because the JV game ended early. We're looking at about 2 minutes to go before we actually get the national anthem and get the game going. Big win last week.
Huge win. Really, really great way to see the Broncos bounce back, play football that we knew they were capable of. In fact, had we seen that kind of football in week one, we might be looking at a 2-0 Bronco team coming into tonight.
One of the big questions for the Broncos, obviously, is what to do with the running game with the injury to Carson Newman. And it looks like we've got a nice little two-headed monster, if you will, developing with Nolan Barnard and Logan Farron.
Yeah, I mean, both of those gentlemen have really stepped up. They've got a strong offensive line to run behind, and they really both found their speed last week. And I think that if they can incorporate that into the game tonight, mix in a little Matthew Bunny as well, we're going to see a strong run game for the Broncos.
Bunny, a nice touchdown run last week.
Yep.
Bernard with the 100-yard game, his second career varsity 100-yard game. So they're getting it done on the ground. And when last you and I were together, we saw Aaron Mora, the quarterback, go down with an injury late in the game. He couldn't finish the game. But he responded big time.
No, I mean, you would have never known that he went down in game one last week at Hiram Johnson. I mean, he was mobile, he was on his feet, he was completing passes, he was reading the defense well, and you saw that with a big win.
Big question from game one, obviously, the penalties and the injuries. And we know a lot of guys came back last week, but unfortunately there was one that happened last week. Spencer Osenas, he goes down just before halftime, didn't return. Do we have a status update on him?
So I think we're still waiting to find out what the results of his MRI were. But yeah, I mean, he was everywhere on the field in the first half for the Broncos. Huge blow to their defense, and I don't see him playing tonight. He might be out a couple of weeks, so we'll have to wait and see.
Everybody else that got hurt in week one, they were back last week. I mean, we talked about, Fred Corfey, the starting center, went down with the injury. His backup delivers the big block for one of the touchdowns, but pretty much everybody else was back.
Yeah, I mean, everybody that seemed to have any sort of ailment in week one was back on week two, didn't really seem to have an issue or a problem. So, and everybody that I'm aware of seems to be healthy tonight for game three outside of Spencer Osenas.
Which is good to see. Now for Ponderosa, we don't know a lot about them, but we do know that they have a pretty solid starting quarterback in Austin Sanchez. Was able to look at some of their highlight film from their week one win, and what you can tell from this guy is he's got poise in the pocket, he can move, he can throw on the run, he can run, and he can throw.
Well, and I think that's a challenge for the defense, for the Broncos, right, is he's not just a step-back passer, but he actually has the ability to run the ball, he has the ability to move outside the pocket and complete passes, so the defense is really going to have to stay keyed in on him tonight in order to stop him.
Looks like they've given us a little bit more time, so we get to talk a little bit more.
I guess so. Looks like 5 minutes.
That? Yeah. So we get some extra time here to talk about this. In terms of who else to expect tonight, Sam Beasley caught a 33-yard touchdown pass in week one as one of the wide receivers for Ponderosa, and so we'll look for him to get the ball. That's number 11. Ben Bailey, another wide receiver, number 13. He looked really good on the video as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of challenges with trying to figure out when we're this early in the season, like what does the new team have, what what sort of tricks up their sleeve. We may not have seen all that they have to offer on the offensive or defensive sides of the ball. So the Broncos are going to have to stay sharp, and I think minimize penalties, which they did a better job of in week 2, but they can still do a better job yet in week 3.
All right, well, it is Military Appreciation Night here at Bella Vista High School. And so we're going to be honoring the military. We'll be picking up some of those festivities as they happen. We are looking at 3 minutes to go before we start getting all the ceremonial duties before we start the game underway. So it should be fun tonight. Talking more a little bit about Bella Vista, Jamison Seapock, the tight end, came through. Touchdown last week, also one of the defensive stars of the game.
He had a great game on both sides of the ball. They're going to look to him again tonight to have a really impressive game on both sides of the ball to be really to be a difference maker. And I think in high school football, that's what you need. You need a couple of guys to be a difference maker in a game in order to sway those games in your favor.
All right, so some keys to the game for Bella Vista tonight. Number one, based on what we saw 2 weeks ago, got to limit the penalties.
Yeah.
They did that last week.
Yeah, they did a better job. I mean, they had a few holding calls. They had, I think, one personal foul. So there's still work to be done, but it was a great improvement from week 1 and what we saw.
And so in terms of additional keys to the game, no turnovers. Got to limit the turnovers. There was, I think, one interception last week?
One interception, yep.
And there were a couple of fumbles the week before, and then just pound the rock. Get that running game going.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the beauty of Bella Vista football is the running game. So they're going to have to get that going early and often in order to wear down the defense, and that will allow Aaron Mora a little bit more time in the pocket to complete those passes to his receivers.
All right, so we are nearing kickoff. We will be bringing you this contest here in just a few minutes, and kind of a weird night. You mentioned the lights before we went on. They were a little bit late in starting them, but the lights are coming on now. Just a really weird feeling. You don't expect this in August.
Well, we haven't seen a lot of the wildfire smoke from up north of us. For those tuning in from afar, wildfire smoke got pushed in with some wind, and we're still seeing a little bit of an effect of that. So there's a little bit of a haziness in that, in the air. The air quality's good, but still a little hazy.
All right, so the other key to the game that I have tonight, which was a big deal 2 weeks ago, and that is controlling the line of scrimmage. Union Mine had that really good offensive line.
Yeah, and I think it gave the Broncos a little more confidence last week, being able to push, control both sides of the ball, let them find their groove, let them understand, oh yeah, we do know how to play football, we are a good football team, and hopefully that will build into week number 3.
All right, so 1-1, both teams 1-1. Bella Vista, of course, they had the disappointing loss 2 weeks ago, and then the big win over Hiram Johnson last week. For Ponderosa, really solid opening performance against El Dorado Hills to start the season, and then it all kind of came crashing to a halt. Now I understand Vista Del Lago's good at just about everything, but still, that to play so well and then have a 42-0 shutout happened the following week was.
Yeah, I mean, next week, Ponderosa plays at Hiram Johnson, or Hiram plays there, I believe. It would have been nice had they gotten that game in before these two teams met. We could have really kind of seen a good measuring stick. Vista Del Lago has a really good football program this year, so I don't know that we learned a lot from that shutout, but they are 1-1 just like we are, so it's heads-up football, and up for anybody to go 2-1 tonight.
So the captains are at the middle of the field and are discussing options and all kinds of fun stuff. Maybe dinner plans after the game or something like that.
That's right.
So we'll see who it is that is going to get their hands on the ball first. It's gotten eerily quiet.
Yeah, it is a little bit quiet. Looks like the captain's out for the Broncos. Looks like we got Damian Rickett. 55 is Devin Crichton.
And you were right 2 weeks ago when you told me about the military uniforms for Bella Vista. It's going to be hard to see those numbers, but we will pick it up as we go. I didn't see who was supposed to be receiving tonight.
They did that awfully fast.
They did. I didn't see the typical movement that we would see. All right, but that's okay. We will figure it out. So we are going to.
All right, we get bands on both sides to stand up for our national anthem. Please take your caps off, your hats, in respect of our country.
Yeah, no problem. I can do both. Just a couple for
We this evening have gentlemen down on the field. We have Miles Cantrell. We're going to send it down to him for a sideline update.
Hello, welcome. This thing on?
Yes.
All right, cool. Welcome to Broncos game. Aim. Today, military theme. We're respecting the U.S. military today. Hey, thank you all for joining us. Us. Well, Vista versus. Who are we facing again, boys?
It's Ponderosa, Miles. We're taking on Ponderosa High School. The Bruins of Ponderosa out of Shingle Springs High. They are much like the opening opponent. Came down Highway 50 for this one.
That's right. We like to play people down Highway 50. That's
all right.
Here we go.
So we are ready to get this one underway. Ryan Warner has the ball, and he will get set to kick this thing off. And let's pick this up here for Ponderosa. It's like Ben Bailey is one of the deep men, and Caleb Smithy is the other. And again, we look forward to seeing Austin Sanchez at the quarterback position. We are ready to play football here at Bella Vista High School. The Broncos, as you will see, are in their black, red, white, and blue uniforms, honoring the military tonight. And there is the kick from Warner. It is going to be picked up by Smithy in the air. Smithy across the 30, still on his feet, and he is going to end up just across the 40-yard line for Ponderosa. So first down for Ponderosa. Again, we mentioned that the quarterback is Austin Sanchez. Caleb Smithy is among those, the man who just returned the ball. He's among those that we will be watching. Aiden Alexander is going to line up as a receiver out to the left. They've got a couple to the right, and the handoff goes to the right side. And nothing doing. Great surge by the defensive line for the Bella Vista Broncos. That's Dylan Alexander, the ball carrier, and we're going to call that no gain.
And that's what we really need. The linebacker stepped up in the hole there. That was 56 Max Keogh in the hole, led by a strong push from the defensive line. We need that every play. No gain.
Good to see that Max is back after the injury 2 weeks ago. He played last week as well. Sanchez. Oh, that's a nice catch. Out across the midfield stripe. That's Ben Bailey with the reception, and that's a first down for Ponderosa.
Luckily, the Broncos had Kai Brown at safety there to make a stop on that.
Tell you what, Bailey had to reach for that, and he's got the maybe he's got those long fingers where he's able to snag that in.
Almost looked like it touched the ground right before he was able to pull it in there. So
they're going to go with two receivers out to the left. Bryson Hooker and Smithy are out to the left. We've got a whistle. Flag out.
That's going to be 55, Devin Crichton, across into the neutral zone.
And a reminder in high school football that once you cross as a defensive player, it's offsides. There's no opportunity to get back onside. 1st and 5 for Ponderosa. There's Alexander again. Finds the outside. Alexander has the first down inside the 35-yard line.
Sanchez with a keeper on the right side.
Dylan Alexander, by the way, he had an 11-yard touchdown run against El Dorado Hills. That was the touchdown on their first. That was their first touchdown of the game. That actually followed a fumble where El Dorado Hills was driving for what could have been a 14-0 lead in that game. That's about where the game turned. Smithy right. And receiver to the left wingman as well. Here comes Smithy in motion. Looks like the fly sweep. And Smithy has some running room. Smithy down the sideline. And he steps out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. So that'll be another first down. Well, we welcome you back to Bella Vista High School. We apologize for some of the difficulties that we had here with the live stream, but we are back. And as we return, you probably just saw that amazing play where it was a near interception by the Broncos, but unfortunately for the Broncos, a nice catch there by Ponderosa as they've got the first down just across midfield and into Bella Vista territory. George Tharlson, Aaron Keogh with you. Thank you for staying with us and for jumping back on here with the live stream. Sometimes the gremlins just get you, and that's what happened there. There's a play for Ben Bailey, who will get a couple of yards down to the 45-yard line. It is second down and 8 yards to go. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see most of it, but that was a very promising opening drive for Bella Vista. It just ended in a fumble.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I saw there from the Broncos is after the timeout, they just tried to get a little too cute, resulted in a fumble, and now the Bruins are driving.
2nd and 8. Sanchez on the keeper. And he's going to ride a couple of defenders, and he's going to be stopped right at about the 42-yard line. The ball came out, but it was after the play was over. And we're looking now at a 3rd down and about 4 yards to go.
That's the second or third play I've seen from the Bruins where the ball does not seem to be secured real well. So I think the Broncos got to capitalize that on defense and try to punch that ball out and maybe get lucky here like they almost did.
So Sanchez taking his time, going over about halfway, about over to the hash mark to get the play, and now jogs into the huddle. We don't have a counting play clock, so we don't know how much time is left towards a delay of game penalty. 4 wide receivers, and a man coming in motion is Irick. They fake the handoff to Irick. They go up the middle. And the ball carrier stood up at the 38-yard line, a yard short of the first down. And it'll now be looking at a 4th and 1 for Ponderosa, and this could be a big opportunity for the Broncos here for a 4th down stuff.
Yeah, I imagine they're going to go for this the whole way. I don't see them putting the ball based on where that ball is now. Too far for a field goal, so they're going to try to smash mouth football this right across the sticks for that 1st down. Especially early in the game like this with just over 2 minutes in the 1st quarter.
And again, Ponderosa taking a long time in the huddle. So 4th and 1, they go shotgun. 2 wide receivers. Sanchez wants to throw. Wide open, nice reception inside the 30. Tight ropes the sideline inside the 20-yard line, and that is a 1st down.
There's a flag in. It's going to be on a late hit on number 10, Damian Rickett. Clocked him out of bounds. I don't know if it's going to be on a defensive player or a late hit out of bounds. But I think that play is going to come back.
Isaac Harder is the one who made the reception. He was wide open out in the flat and then had plenty of room in front of him. So we will take a look at what the referee has to say here. Looks like we need to have a little bit of a further discussion here, but it is going to back him up. So the late hit came out of bounds, so they're marking it from the spot of the penalty.
Block in the back.
Now what happens here is it was so far downfield he already had the 1st down, and even the penalty yardage doesn't change that.
Correct.
So it will still be 1st and 10 for the Ponderosa Bruins.
It's really like the pass. They just got 10 yards less than they would have gotten because of the penalty, but it's still a 1st down for the Bruins and new opportunity.
1st down at the 33.
Well, you get the yardage before the penalty and go far enough downfield. All right, so 1st and 10. And there's another big run for Ponderosa. That one is Dylan Alexander again. That time he takes it straight up the middle and found the hole, takes it all the way down to the 20-yard line. So that is a pickup of 22 yards on the play, and that is a 1st down for the Broncos, or for the Bruins.
This is the 2nd time in the 1st quarter the Bruins find themselves in the red zone. Bronco defense is going to have to step up here in a big way.
3 wide receivers out to the right for Ponderosa. Sanchez has time. He's looking end zone once again, one-on-one coverage, and that pass a little too far out in front of everybody.
Alexander.
It was Mark Newton that had the coverage, and he was with him every step of the way.
Good pressure on the quarterback there from the defense on that blitz. Had a hard time with these jersey numbers, George, seeing who that was, but he's got both his wrists taped up. I can see that. And got a good hit on the quarterback there, a good clean hit on the quarterback that made him rush that pass.
So 2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line. And Ponderosa's offenses just seem to be able to move the ball at will. So it looks like this was supposed to be a keeper, and the whistle blew and the play winds down in slow motion, but little extracurriculars there. Not enough for a penalty, but we're going to get a false start against Ponderosa. So that will bring up a 2nd down and 15 now.
Still 2nd down and 15.
Just under 50 seconds to go in the opening quarter of play.
And if you're keeping track at home, that's the 2nd offensive penalty for the Bruins on this drive, negating 15 yards. Otherwise, the ball would be a little bit further up the field.
2nd and 15, 3 wide receiver sets. This is Dylan Alexander once again. And breaks off the first hit, and he picks up a couple of yards down to about the 23-yard line. That'll be a gain.
3rd down and 13.
That's a gain of 2 on the play, so that'll bring up a 3rd down and 13 yards to go for Ponderosa. Boy, they take their time with this huddle.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, George, we don't have a play clock to be able to look. All we've got is the head referee will put his hand out and give a 5 count.
And he just gave them the start. Here's Sanchez, screens it left. Some running room that will bring it down to the 16-yard line.
That'll end the first quarter.
That brings us to an end of the
Ponderosa
first quarter. That's a 6-yard pass play there for Ponderosa. And so when we begin the second quarter of play, the Bruins will be facing a 4th down. It'll be 4th down and about 5 yards to go.
You know, I really feel like, George, with the offensive side of the ball for the Bruins, the fact that they're taking so much time is really a really big benefit to the Broncos, letting them catch their breath, really see what the offense is doing. And although they're not standing a long time at the line of scrimmage, they are giving the Broncos enough time to adjust, and I think that's a big help to them.
So if you're Coach Gray and company here after a first quarter where your offense seemed to move the ball, the one opportunity it got, but you're watching your opponent just march down the field on their 2 drives pretty easily, what do you tell them? I mean, you need them to tighten up.
Yeah, and I feel like on the second drive, they've done a better job controlling the run, but the pass has really been a weak spot for them. So I think in the huddle there, in between the quarter break, you've really just got to help them understand, hey, we got to stay tight in our coverage. We've really got to stay after the ball because they're really moving the ball through the pass this drive, whereas in the first drive, they had a lot more run involved. And that would be my advice if I was a coach, which I'm not, but
Well, let's see what they can do here on this 4th down.
All right, the Bruins come on out. They have a 4th down and 5.
It's a 4th and 5, and so the Bruins will eschew the field goal and go for it here. Big opportunity for Bella Vista's defense. And there's penetration into the neutral zone again.
mental mistake, huge mistake.
And so that is going to bring it very close to a first down. Yeah, it's going to be just about a yard short.
So now this totally changes the play call for the offense. You know, when it was 4th and 5.5, 4th and 6, there was a throw available, maybe a sweep pass, something like that. Now, a dive right up the center.
Well, I'll say it again because it's still true. This is a big play for the Bella Vista defense. And a couple of runs that they've used with Alexander, Bella Vista has stood them up. Like the first play of the game is one example. And it's Alexander that's in the backfield behind Sanchez, and now another penalty flag. And Bella Vista comes up clapping here.
Delay a game.
So we went from 4th and 6 to 4th and 1, and now we're back to 4th and 6 again.
Big break for the Broncos, but you mentioned it several times already how long the Bruins are taking in the huddle, and that bit them. Costly mistake.
And it's where I would like to have that play clock.
That'd be really handy to have it, you know.
All right, so now it's back to where we were before, but don't be so eager, right?
That's right. Hold your position till that ball moves.
This time they sprint out of the huddle. Alexander to the left of Sanchez, and another whistle. And now we're going to get a timeout called, and it's called by Ponderosa. So the coaching staff for Ponderosa didn't really like what they saw. And so as a result of that, they called the timeout. The clock says 11:57. We haven't run a play yet.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, so that should actually say 12 minutes.
But I know one thing. If I was an offensive player, the way that coach was coming out on the field, I would not want to be in that huddle right now. He did not look happy with whatever was lining up on the offensive side of the ball for the Bruins. All right, here we are out of the huddle now. I'm going to try this again.
All right, so 4th and 6. Sanchez with time. He's looking into the end zone, and it is caught for the touchdown.
Touchdown Bruins.
And that is a 16-yard touchdown pass on the play. And, you know, give him credit. He just found the room. And I believe that was Bailey again with his 6'1" frame. Just snuck right by everybody and caught the touchdown pass.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due there, and they just ran a good route and broke the coverage for the touchdown.
So Ponderosa is going to go for 2 here. So they take advantage of the Bella Vista turnover, and they march all the way downfield. Sanchez, diving attempt, and the pass is incomplete as he not able to get the pass. I believe that was intended for Alexander, Aiden Alexander.
Yeah, and I mean, the Broncos really got lucky on there. Again, that was pass coverage that the receiver had all day to catch that ball. Just missed it, which is going to happen in high school football. So, you know, luckily the Broncos are going to get an offensive side on the side of the ball now. Chance again to see what they can do. Hopefully build some momentum on those big runs they had on the opening drive and try to get some points on the board.
So we have 11:51 to go in the second quarter of play. It is 12-0 in favor of Ponderosa.
Don't just sit there hungry, get yourself some dinner, and enjoy a good football game.
So the Broncos, their first possession of the game, they were able to move the ball. It was one of those pesky fumbles that prevented the drive from ending in a positive way, if you will. And here is a squib kick on the ground. It's bouncing, and it is picked up by Bella Vista. They'll have pretty good field position here just across the 35-yard line.
Looks to me like the offensive front for the Broncos is going to remain after they made some changes. And I agree with that call. I mean, I think that they showed they were able to move the ball, clean up a couple of the mistakes, not find themselves behind the sticks in a second and long, third and long situation, and hold on to the football. And I think we could see some points out of this drive.
So we look again for the 1-2 punch of Farron and Bernhard. There's a carry up the middle to the 40-yard line for a gain of 4 yards for Bella Vista.
Bella Vista carry on Farron. It's about 4 yards in the play, but he's up second and 6, just at the 40-yard line.
So Logan Farron with the ball carry, with the carry that time, and a gain of 4. This time it's Bernhard. Bernhard pushing his way up towards the 45-yard line. He'll be about a yard shy of the first down.
Another carry gets it out to about the
And this is
45.
workable yardage. There's a lot of options available now with the third and short. This is a problem that the Broncos had in week 1, was they were constantly faced with second and long, third and long. Third and short is manageable. Lots of options here for the Broncos.
They've got Farron, the lone setback. Farron gets the carry. He'll take it right up the middle, has the first down, bulldozes a few people across midfield and down to the 48-yard line.
First down,
Man, I'm not sure if that was Logan Farron or Frank Henry, running back for the Tennessee Titans, with the way those defenders were hanging on him. Man, that boy could keep his legs moving. That was great.
Or where I come from, maybe a little beast mode action in Marshawn Lynch.
Exactly, yes. That was excellent to see. More of that, please.
From the 48-yard line, Bella Vista 1st and 10. Keeping it on the ground, Bernhard will be stopped right at about the 45-yard line of Ponderosa, and that'll be a gain of 3 yards for Bella Vista.
That was Bunny with the carry.
I'm sorry, that's Matthew Bunny that carried it that time. 2nd and 7 for Bella Vista. Coming in motion, here's Farron. Farron gets by a couple of men in the backfield and spun around and brings that one down to the 43-yard line.
That's Logan Farron with the carry.
They are going to give him the progress. They're going to give him to the
Third down,
42.
about 4 from the 42.
So from the 42-yard line, it'll be third down, about 4 yards to go. So Aaron Mora, who does the same thing, goes over and gets the play from the sideline. Broncos are sending Rickett out to the left. Double wing formation, handoff to Farron. Farron pushing his way forward. He's got the first down and down to the 35-yard line.
You know, we talked about in week 1 how Union Mine's offense constantly running the ball wore out the defense. The Broncos are giving a little dose of that to the Bruins with this ground and pound attack, which was one of your keys to the game.
So 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. And this is Bernhard, and he has spun around in the backfield and dropped.
That was a missed block.
Tackle for a loss of the play.
There was
Second down
a
and 12.
receiver there that should have picked number 13 up. That was Ben Bailey. And given how many times we've said his name tonight, that was not the right person to miss on a blocking assignment.
So it'll be 2nd down and 12. Mr. Mora may be thinking about, and coaching staff may be thinking about possibly putting the ball in the air. Long distance needed for a first down. They'll keep it on the ground. And not getting much there with Matthew Bunny. And it's going to be no gain.
For the carry.
So it'll be 3rd and 12 now.
Bring up third down and they're going to get back to line of
I think
scrimmage.
now
Third
you're going to
down
see
and
a
12.
pass play from the Broncos. Something to Jamison, Supak, Damian Rickett.
Well, Mora threw for a career high 180 yards last week. So that game he had should boost his confidence. One man in the backfield. Mora's rolling left. He's got time. Going deep. Touchdown Broncos!
What a play! What a play!
Damian Rickett with the reception. 35 yards on the play, and the Broncos are on the scoreboard.
Now I got to tell you, George, he did that with a little holding call that did not get called on the defense, and he still caught that ball. What a play from your star receiver, Damian Rickett.
So 7:02 to go, and right after throwing the touchdown pass, Aaron Moore is going to attempt the extra point. Snap, spot, kick is on the way, and it is good. So we have ourselves a timeout on the field. 7:02 to go in the second quarter of play. It is 12-7 in favor of Ponderosa. And all of a sudden the energy's picked up. You hear the band playing.
That's what they needed. They just needed a little energy, a little confidence that they can do it. We got ourselves a ball game here. They're down 5 points. There's plenty of time left in this ball game. They can hang with this Ponderosa Bruins team.
So now it's on the Bella Vista defense.
Yeah.
Shut them down here. See what we can do. There's Warner's kick. This one is bouncing, loose ball on the ground, picked up at the 21. That's Bailey. And with all of that ball movement, gave Bella Vista a chance to get down there and cover the play. And so it wasn't going very far. 23-yard line.
This is another good opportunity now for the defense to step up, tighten up their pass coverage, continue to control between the tackles, watch the sweeps on the outside with their defensive ends, and make a stop.
So 1st and 10 for Ponderosa. Again, taking their time. Very methodical, if you will. Sanchez will keep it on his own, and he shoots across the 25-yard line, and a flag comes in late, kind of in the area where you could see holding or you could see a face mask.
I think it's going to be a face mask the way that the defender tackled him there. We'll see. The back judge was all over that.
There's a 5-yard face mask on the play.
That's right, you still have that in
Incidental contact, right?
First down and 5.
And the way they went down, it didn't look like he did that with malintent. That was just an accidental grab because of the way that they fell. So
he'll swing it around to the right side. That's Smithy, and Smithy's got the first down across the 40-yard line out to the 42.
That'll move the chains to the Bruins. 1st and 10 from the 42.
timeout, Bella Vista. They had a good stop there, but they just gave up too many yards. And if they're going to have any shot of stopping the Bruins here, they're going to have to tighten up that pass coverage.
So timeout of the field.
It is a very interesting evening here in Fair Oaks tonight. In fact, while we're on the timeout here, let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like behind us. So we're that's Aaron Kehoe. I'm George Tharlson. Look at the sky behind us as we are outside. This is the sun setting. This is the cloud cover, and this is the smoke from the Northern California fires. It's all kind of coming together. It's cooled us down. The wind is kicking up quite a bit tonight. So, but it is quite an environment that we have this evening.
Makes for a great night of Friday night football on a Thursday night.
Yes.
Under the lights.
A special Thursday night edition of Friday Night Football.
That's right.
Most people watching probably say, what was that? Here's a handoff and carrying the ball out across the 45-yard line. That's a gain of about 4 yards. I'm sure that there are some people that are watching that remember Howard Cosell.
I'm sure indeed. Good stop by the defense.
And that is the first and the last time this year I will do that impersonation. So they're going to call that a 5-yard gain. So 2nd and 5 for Ponderosa. And a flag flies as the ball was snapped.
They're going to say that number 10 was in the neutral zone before the snap, and that was awfully close. I don't know that.
Offside on Bella Vista.
That's going to mark him just shy of the first down. So again, the penalty bug is rearing its ugly head once again.
Just getting over antsy. They know what to do, so the Broncos just need to settle in here.
So this is going to be 2nd down and 1 for Ponderosa. They have Dylan Alexander in the backfield. They've got a stacked receiver set, 3 men to the left. Sanchez to throw. He's going down the sideline. That's a great catch by Bailey inside the 25-yard line. He'll bring it down close to the 21.
Bruin ball.
It's like Matthew Bunny is the one that had the coverage.
1st and 10.
Fairly decent coverage there from Bella Vista in Matthew Bunny. But, you know, with Ben Bailey's 6'1" frame.
Against Bunny's 5'5" frame.
Just at a disadvantage.
Here's Dylan Alexander again. And he'll pick up about 2 or 3. So he seems to be the workhorse for Ponderosa so far as their running backs are concerned. And after that Bronco touchdown, we were talking about how the energy picked up. It's now kind of quieted down again. There's a handoff straight ahead, and it's met for maybe a yard gain. That looks like that was Isaac Harder that was the ball carrier. And that'll bring up now a 3rd down and 5.
You'd think the Bruins would have learned with 4 minutes left before halftime that running between the tackles is not going to work on this offense. There is nowhere to run with that defensive front.
Aiden Alexander is out to the right, 3 men to the left. You know they want to look for Bailey under some pressure, looking into the end zone, and that one floats over everybody's head. And so the Broncos have held. It is now 4th down and 5. Well, they've held at least for now. There is a 4th and 5 situation.
Good defensive pressure again. Blitzing Broncos. Force that throw early. And you see an incompletion.
Okay, this time I'm not going to say anything about how important this 4th down is. See if that works. From the 16-yard line, looks like we've got ourselves a timeout by Ponderosa again. So 2 weeks ago, Bella Vista was using all of its timeouts. Looks like Ponderosa's doing that now. So, but obviously it's a 4th and 5 situation here. A chance to go up 2 scores and possibly take that 2-score lead into the locker room. And again, for Bella Vista, it's an opportunity to make a stop here. They've moved the ball really well when they've had the chance.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, you said you were going to say it was a big 4th down, but I think it is. I mean, that's the reality. The Bronco defense is going to have to get a stop. Otherwise, this score is going to be 100 to who knows what. So this is a good opportunity for them. Short time left in the first half to get a stop, get the ball back, and see if we can't maybe get the lead ourselves going into halftime.
And obviously the Broncos, they've moved the ball offensively. Their offense just isn't getting a chance to get on the field.
Yeah, the Bruins are keeping it on.
So 4th and 5. Screen play right. It's a behind the back and a pass play by Bailey that is incomplete. So they go to the bag of tricks on 4th down. Is that really the right time to do that?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of a screen pass in that situation. The defense, because it forces the defense to stay put where they are. Luckily, the quarterbacks, the defensive backs, were in good coverage, and there was nowhere to throw the ball. And now, if you're Bella Vista, you've got 3.5 minutes to go down and take the lead. And remember, Bella Vista starts with the ball in the second half.
That's exactly the point I was going to make. So you get the touchdown, you get the extra point, you're up by 2, and you get the ball. So let's see what the Broncos can do here with this opportunity. 1st and 10. The line of scrimmage is the 15-yard line. So all kinds of misdirection and all kinds of running room. Nolan Bernhard.
That even faked me out a little bit. It took me a second to see that Nolan had the ball, and clearly the Bruins were caught flat-footed as well.
So that is a 40-yard run by Nolan Bernhard from the 15 to the 45 on the other side of the field. First and 10, Bella Vista. They get themselves out of jail. Bernhard comes in motion on the 3rd man through. Nice running, hurdling a man. The ball carrier, I believe that's Bunny with the ball that time around, and he picks up 9.
You know, I heard this week Najee Harris, starting running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers, when he was at Alabama, Coach Saban told him that he couldn't hurdle until he saw him hurdle a defender, and then he said, well, just don't get hurt. Same thing here. If you can do it, make it work.
Exactly. And Bunny plays lacrosse in the spring, so he's not available for the track team.
They may wish that he was after that run.
Yeah, that was a nice one. Maybe he's got he's got an Olympic future ahead of him. We have another timeout here, and 2:36 to go, and the Broncos all of a sudden find themselves in plus territory, moving the ball, and who knows what could happen here. Again, the offense was very productive last week. It's continuing that this week. Of course, they got off to that really slow, flat start in the opener against Union Mine.
You know, the wing tee offense is to some kind of an outdated offense, but the way that we're seeing the Broncos execute it tonight is the way that it's meant to be run. And I've heard Coach Gray tell the players before, if everyone does their assignment, it will work. And we're seeing that right now.
You've got a lot of motion. You've got some misdirection going with it. There's a lot of great stuff that you can do with it. And when you have that 1-2-3 punch, and you know, you've got Bernhard, you got Logan Farron, who's the big guy, and then you've got the little guy in Matthew Bunny, who's able to, you know, provide that change of pace a little bit. It can keep people guessing.
Yes.
So Moore's going to throw. He's got the reception. Moore, I believe he's 2 for 2 tonight. That's Logan, and that's Seapock with the reception. No, it is Logan. Or no.
No, that's Seapock.
It is Seapock.
Yeah.
It's hard to see those numbers.
Yeah, it is. But that, you know, the telltale side for JMO, their number 5, is that blonde hair sticking out of the back of that helmet.
Have to look for that. 2:28. So Mora's got the touchdown pass, and he's got that pass. The opening series, I missed it all because of the technical problems we were having. I don't know if he threw any passes on that drive or not.
Not to JMO, I know that. Looks like they've switched up their offensive front here, the Broncos, a little bit as well.
Farron the lone setback. Moore's going to throw again. That's a screen. That's a loose ball. That's a loose ball. That's a lateral pass, and it is recovered by Ponderosa across the 40-yard line. Referees may wish to discuss this and determine if that was actually a forward pass, but that looked like a backward pass to me.
That was a backwards pass.
And so a promising drive for the second time tonight. A promising drive for Bella Vista ends on a turnover.
Huge mistake. That you know, in football, it's a team sport. You hate to blame that on one player, but that's really a mental error by the quarterback. You got to know that ball's got to go forward on a screen. You practice that in practice. You have to execute that in the game.
So Ponderosa with possession once again. Here's Sanchez. Nice slant pattern. And that is going to be a pickup of 15 yards on the play and a first down for Ponderosa. Bailey again with the reception. Who else?
Bruins from the 44.
3 wide receivers to the left. Bailey is the one closest to the line of scrimmage. Sanchez going the other way. Aiden Alexander with the reception, and he'll step out of bounds at the 38-yard line.
Sanchez Alexander goes out of bounds, stops the clock.
The Bruins have no timeouts left, so good execution there by the receiver going out of bounds, stopping the clock.
They're going to call it the 39, so that's a pickup of 5. 2nd and 5 for Ponderosa. Those short passes out on the flat or the screen plays are working. Those receivers are wide open. Dylan Alexander is the lone setback. Sanchez to throw again. And just like that, there's Dylan Alexander with the reception, and he spun out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
We've got a new element in the game here, George. I'm feeling some raindrops on my head.
Oh, my goodness. I haven't felt anything
Just
yet.
a few little spitting drops. Nothing that's going to...
I was wondering if that might happen with the cloud cover.
Just a couple drops here and there.
3rd and 1. Clock is stopped on the out-of-bounds play. And again, if you're Ponderosa, you just run that same play again. You run that same screen. You're having all kinds of luck. Nobody's on Bailey out to the right. Catch is made. Comeback catch is made by Bailey. And they are going to mark him right at the first down marker.
Seemed like a generous spot the way that he ran backwards.
So they're going to mark him just shy of the 39-yard line. So this is going to be 3rd down.
They are going to call that a first down.
They are going to give him a first down. Okay.
First and 10 Bruins inside the 35-yard line to 34.
Nobody lined up on Bailey when he went out to the right. Three wides left, one man to the right, whistle and a flag.
Flag is gonna play.
This is going to be offside on Ponderosa. So one of their guys actually lined up in the neutral zone. You don't see offside on the offense very much.
No, I think what happened there is they were running trips left. The receivers had to run out and hustle up to the ball, and I think one just got set and didn't check with the side judge if he was lined up correctly or not.
And again, just like on defense, once you step into the neutral zone on offense, you can't get back. You're offsides automatically. So now they'll go slots to either side. One man in the backfield, Sanchez. Under all kinds of pressure, gets rid of it late, and it was nearly intercepted by Mark Newton. And he's mad at himself. He's going to see that in his sleep.
He's mad, but he was at a weird angle there to catch it. Really what caused that was, again, pressure up front on the quarterback through an ill-advised throw rather than taking the sack. Got lucky, very lucky, that it did not get picked off.
We haven't seen that late blitz from Bella Vista that often.
No, we haven't. That's kind of a new element here.
Well, and who knows if that can prompt a bad pass here and there, good things can happen, and maybe they might get their hands on the ball here. Sanchez again under pressure again. Nice grab. That's a first down to the 20-yard line. A gain of about 19 yards on the play, and quickly Ponderosa is up to the line of scrimmage. Now they have to decide where they want to put the ball. And Sanchez will spike it. With 37 seconds to go before halftime, one of the things that we have seen Ponderosa do deep in Bella Vista territory on fourth downs is they've gone for it. That tells me they don't have much faith in a field goal kicker. They do have a couple of kickers on their roster, at least one. So would they try a field goal here?
Well, I think the bigger issue they're going to have is that there's only 37 seconds left and they have no timeout. So unless they're going to throw a pass near the out-of-bounds line or
the end zone.
Yes, or the end zone, that clock is going to run. And this is high school football. Hard to get that ball reset.
Sanchez with the shotgun, three wide receivers. He's looking left all the way, under pressure. Now he's going to send it right over the middle, nearly intercepted again.
That was the middle linebacker on that, almost had that.
Third down and 10.
So 3rd and 10 now for Ponderosa. Time for Bella Vista's defense to make a big play. A couple of near interceptions.
And you feel like that's a sign of good things to come as the game goes. One of those is going to land in the arms of a Bronco defender.
So Irick, Smithy, and Bailey will all go out to the left. Dylan Alexander to the right. Sanchez, he's now being flushed out of the pocket. He's going to try and get rid of it. Throws one up for grabs, and it's intercepted in the end zone and being brought back out up the sideline and out of bounds across the 10-yard line.
You just felt like that was a matter of time. Kudos to the defensive front for increasing pressure on the quarterback, causing those bad throws, short time, and now with 19 seconds left, crisis averted.
And I gotta say, so hard to see the numbers. I did not see who got that.
That was Damian Rickett. I saw the green
good.
gloves.
Okay, great. Huge interception for Bella Vista. Right now, the turnover battle is still being won by Ponderosa, as Bella Vista's turned it over twice. 19 seconds to go. If you're Bella Vista, let's see what they do. They're running the misdirection. They'll go inside.
Inside handoff, that's good kill there.
And that's Farron was the ball carrier for no gain. And I think that we'll just let the clock run down.
It's a wise call for Coach Gregg.
So we have come to the end of the first half of play. It is 12-7 in favor of the Ponderosa Bruins. They're moving the ball with ease, but obviously that big turnover right there on the heels of a fourth down stop the previous possession. And so the last two possessions for Ponderosa, they did not get any Well, they didn't score, so which was good.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is kind of like, well, this was the next best thing that could have happened because, the best thing would have been they scored, took the lead going into halftime, but instead they averted that crisis of going down by 2 scores. They're going to start the second half with the ball, and I think if you're Bella Vista, the message here at halftime is we have to stop making so many mistakes. We saw that in week 1. They cleaned it up in week 2. We're back to that in week 3. And on the defensive side of the ball, they've got to keep the pressure on that quarterback and force him to continue to make bad throws.
Like what we see from the Bella Vista offense.
Yes, very, very impressed so far with what we're seeing. Hope to see more of that in the second half.
So Logan Farron obviously is the big guy. Bernhard with that huge run at one point. Unfortunately, unfortunately we have to document it, and that is the turnovers. What would this score be if they hold on to the ball both of those possessions?
Oh, I mean, I think they're up. I mean, it's 12-7 Ponderosa right now. I think we're probably looking at a 21-12 ball game probably. Maybe I'm being a little bit biased for the home team, but I feel like the way they're moving the ball, if they can clean up some of those mistakes, it's going to be a very, very good second half for the Broncos.
And one thing I can tell you is, well, we've seen penalties, not a lot, and I've not seen anybody go out due to injury.
No injuries so far. That's good. And on the penalty side, yeah, we haven't seen as many, but the ones we have seen have been on both sides, and it's kind of, offsetting penalties, which is my least favorite penalty call in football. But
right.
In this case, it's kind of keeping the game a little bit close on the penalty side, which is good. But if they can, Bella Vista can clean that up, or conversely, if Ponderosa cleans that up, that can be a big advantage as well.
Obviously, you have a train of thought and then it just goes away. No, actually, I remember. I wanted to bring up Spencer Osinas because they obviously miss him tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think on that linebacker position, normally in the middle linebacker, you have Spencer Osinas on one side, you have Max Key on the other side. In week 1, Max came out at the end of the game, so it was Spencer and on a backup, a second string, and we talked about how they need to come in and make a difference, and they did an okay job. And then in week 2, we had, at least for the first half, we had Spencer and Max back, and then Spencer got hurt. And so now in week 3, they're trying to figure out that new identity up the front. Now what I'm encouraged by is, again, the running between the tackles, they seem to have that shut down. I attribute that a little bit more to the defensive front. They're going to have to pick up in the secondary. We saw a lot of those passes kind of over the center. That's linebacker territory. Get those hands up, jump, try to grab that ball, bat it down, anything to keep those passes from being complete.
And on defense, the Broncos may be onto something by pressuring the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of throws off the back foot of the quarterback for Ponderosa. Those typically never go where you want them to go. So we'll see what the second half brings.
All right, he's Aaron Keogh. I'm George Thorolson. We are at halftime, and we'll go ahead and we're going to step away here. The band is about to take the field, so we'll let you enjoy the Bella Vista Marching Band here at halftime at Bella Vista Community Stadium. It is 12-7 in favor of Ponderosa with the second half of action coming your way in just a few minutes. All right, no problem. Actually, I think I'm good with what I've got. Okay. So how's it going over here? Bailey threw the one pass. Sanchez is throwing all the others. Sanchez threw an interception to Ricketts. At this point, don't worry about it. For tonight, what I'm hoping you do is just kind of get used to doing this.
Okay.
And then as we go through the season, when you start incorporating it into, we'll start incorporating in what you have and what you're doing. I want you to get comfortable with it. And I want you to be careful about it.
No problem.
I've got a set of headphones, but I don't get to use it.
Yeah.
So, but next time.
Yeah.
15th, September 15th. Each week it's going to get more.
Great.
and then poor Miles. I'd love to incorporate him more, but he can't hear me. I can't hear him. There's no communication.
He's asking me for like the check marks at this point. He's like, what are they doing?
Yeah, and we had some. So I wouldn't mind. At TV Football on YouTube. So yeah, go to YouTube and just look for at TV Football. Yeah, this one's kind of messed up. This one's kind of messed up tonight. Yeah, actually, so let's see that. I'm hoping my son's watching too.
Well, I just texted him and he's not responding, so I think he's still asleep. I just have this up right now.
Oh, okay.
Is that all right?
Well, it's promoting it as upcoming. We could just show the field.
Okay.
Yeah, let's show the field.
Okay. Or this one?
No, actually,
Oh,
showing
the
the
field
field's
is
fine.
fine. Okay.
And then we can take this down.
Oh, right.
We could just leave it
Just
at
leave
that.
it. Okay, that's fine.
Where are we? 5:24 to go.
So, George, when the cameras lose connectivity, does that have to do with the Wi-Fi signal?
Yeah, it looks like they weren't picking up. Well, this wasn't picking them up. They're all on the same
Is that
network.
something that could be improved by? Is there some sort of a booster or something?
I don't know. What I did is I switched from this hotspot to this hotspot, and it seems to be working fine. So maybe that's the answer. Maybe I need to use the tablet for the hotspot.
You know what? I much prefer this tripod to this one.
Okay.
Bless you.
I saw Heather. She's like, anything you guys do.
Anything you want.
Okay.
Thank you.
So hopefully next time, maybe I've got it figured out that we use this for the hotspot.
Okay.
So maybe it'll work out better this time.
I mean,
next time.
Aaron was just smooth when we had no camera. I was like, go, Aaron. He's
And you were actually being more descriptive too. You're going to the radio.
Well, I knew they didn't have. I remember you saying that last week or 2 weeks ago, and I was like, okay, hold on, we got to give more details here because I can't see.
And if you notice when we first went down, and I there was that kickoff. That's how I called it. I kicked right back into radio mode for that.
It was perfect.
But it's working now, right?
Yeah, it's working just fine. I was using the hotspot on my phone, which worked fine during lacrosse. All of a sudden, it's not working. But the iPad seems to be doing better. So, what was that about getting food at Kiki's?
That's Miles.
Oh,
Is that Nicholas?
oh no, that's Miles. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, he's gonna go get the
Yeah.
Are you using him? Yeah, that's what he probably needs like an earpiece so he can
Yeah,
hear you.
we need to be able to communicate with him.
Yeah.
And it would be better if we had like a producer and a separate camera person,
Yeah.
so that the person could communicate with Miles.
Because Miles was looking at me and he was like pointing, like, "Do you want me to do something?" I was like,
He probably just needs a little coaching. That's all.
Yeah.
He needs a little coaching. His report was kind of rough. But again, that's how you learn. That's how you learn.
All right. Well,
and he's
So-
interested to do it. So
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
That's great. We should support him.
I was actually going to ask him to come up with the booth, but I guess it's no time now. Because I wanted to talk to him a little bit. But if you see him flagging you down, maybe just reach around here and point so that get in my eyesight and point or something like
Okay.
that.
Or I can flag you and point at you.
Yeah.
Okay.
just some of the comments. I mean, I stopped in there just a second to see my parents, and I said, "Well, what do you think?" He's like, "He's doing his things."
Yeah.
He's like, "You can't just look at him."
Right.
And it's not even personal foul. It's 5 yards here, 5 yards there. He goes, "They should have scored 2 or 3 more times."
Exactly. Yes. Absolutely. All right. Let's jump back on. We are just moments away from the start of the second half of play here at Bella Vista High School. And if the Broncos can clean up the mistakes, quit turning the ball over, and really do something with this possession to start the second half, who knows what might happen? Could be something special.
Yeah, I know they talk in football a lot, and they'll say, "Oh, this is a big third down or a big fourth down," but this opening drive for the Broncos is really a key part of this game because they were able to get a defensive stop with that interception. They went into halftime. It's 12-7. They're going to get the ball to start, and if they can move the ball like they've been moving it without the mistakes to get into the end zone, they take the lead for the first time this game, and suddenly the momentum starts to shift Bella Vista's way.
And we saw that 2 weeks ago. But unlike 2 weeks ago, if they do that, then they have to turn around and make that next defensive stop, which they've done the last 2 times. Still long drives, but they've been able to snuff out those drives with their backs against the end zone.
Yeah, and historically, and when I say historically, I'm only talking a couple of years, but this is a better second half football team than they are first half football team. Now, I don't know what we're going to get tonight, but given that's what history says, and history's bound to repeat itself, I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of those mistakes improved upon or eliminated. Take a little turnover there. They're changing possession. I think they fumbled the ball.
So the opening drive of the half, and the Broncos find themselves having lost possession.
Ponderosa football.
The mistakes continue for the Broncos.
So the ball is at the 32-yard line. Ponderosa with great field position. And the handoff, this is Alexander once again. Big hole up the middle, nearly 8 yards before he's hit and driven back.
With a nice carry. Ty Brown with a nice tackle.
Looked like he picked up 9 yards and then got driven back 12, but obviously forward progress is where the ball will be marked.
Elvis the sideline. A set of car keys with
Second and short now for the Bruins.
Beside those two.
About the 24-yard line on the right hash.
So 2nd and 2.
Get it back to you.
Got an offset eye.
See if you have your car keys.
Myrick moves over. Here's Alexander once again. He stood up, spins off the first tackle, and he is dropped for no gain. So that'll bring up a 3rd down and 2 for Ponderosa.
3rd down and 1.
So we're approaching 10 minutes here in the third quarter of play. Alexander's the lone setback, and Sanchez is going to keep it on his own, and he's going to push forward all the way down past the 21-yard line, so that's going to be a gain of about 2 and a first down for Ponderosa.
Smart play call from Ponderosa there to get a new set of downs. And now they've got the ball just outside the red zone, working with a 1st and 10.
First down, Ponderosa at the 21-yard line.
So from the 21-yard line, shotgun, there's Alexander once again. Huge gap up the middle. And he takes it inside the 15-yard line and brings it down to about the 13. Second down, about 3. Here's Harder, the big guy. He'll push it forward down inside the 15-yard line, or I'm sorry, the 10-yard line. And that will be another Ponderosa first down.
First down, Bruins. Right at the 10-yard line. They dropped the 6, so it's going to be first and goal from the 10.
So first and goal from the 10. There's Alexander once again, and he'll bring it down to about the 9 for a gain of about a yard.
You know, it looks like Ponderosa's made some adjustments on offense. They're having a little more success this drive between the tackles, which was completely shut down in the first half by Bella Vista. So kudos to them for making some halftime adjustments that are working well for them so far as a second goal now.
Alexander the lone setback. Irick comes in motion. Irick gets the handoff. But check that, they're going to go right up the middle with Sanchez, and Sanchez keeps it on his own, and he's in the end zone. So that's a 9-yard run for Austin Sanchez, and the Bruins are on the scoreboard once again.
This was sort of like worst case scenario for Bella Vista to start the second half. You don't get any points, you turn the ball over, Ponderosa scores, and now you find yourself down 2 scores early in the second half.
So now they will attempt the extra point. Johnson is on to attempt. The snap, the spot, the kick is on the way, and it is good. So we have a timeout on the field, 7:33 to go in the third quarter of play. It is 19-7 in favor of Ponderosa. Still anyone's game, but Bella Vista has got to stop gifting the ball away, and their defense is going to have to come up with some stops.
Yeah, it really looks like from a halftime adjustment standpoint, Ponderosa definitely did their homework at halftime. The students, AKA the football players, paid attention, and there's some Broncos that seem like we've missed the assignment here as we start the second half. So we're going to get another chance at it.
So the Broncos will bring the kickoff return team on the field here, and we'll see what kind of field position they get. When they've had the ball, they've been able to move it like we've talked about, but unfortunately 3 of those possessions have ended in turnovers. So Johnson will boot this one away. Rickett will take it inside the 10. Looking for some blocks. And he'll have it out to about the 23-yard line.
He's fumbled the ball, and Ponderosa's recovered it again.
Oh, my goodness.
Popped right out of Rickett's hands.
Fumble Bella Vista, Ponderosa ball.
That is the 4th fumble of the game.
Rickett trying to say that his knee was down, but they just popped the ball right out, George, and their Ponderosa's going to have the ball again.
It's really interesting. I didn't see the ball come out.
They could just helmet on the ball.
We don't boo here. We don't boo at all.
So we're at the 22-yard line for
Everybody on the
Ponderosa,
field
first
did
down.
their best.
And they will send 3 wide receivers out to the right. Here's Sanchez, and he's going to take off running again. Here's Sanchez weaving his way through the Bella Vista defense, and he's down to the 5-yard line.
Sanchez with a carry on the left side.
And you just sense from the Bella Vista sideline here, they are
Gonna bring up a
totally
first and goal
deflated right now.
situation.
Coaching
Inside the
staff is going to
5.
have to do something, but the coaches seem to be standing
They're
around
marking at
looking,
the 5. First and goal.
wondering what's going on here. So they got to inject some life into this offense and do so quickly and keep this defense motivated, as they're a little fatigued, spending almost the entirety of the third quarter so far on the field.
From the 5-yard line, first and goal. There's Alexander once again, and he has stood up for no gain at the line of scrimmage.
Alexander the carry is stopped by a bunch of Broncos on that. They give him back to the line of scrimmage. Second and goal from that 5-yard line.
So 6:18 to go. This is a chance, this is a good time for a goal line stand for Bella Vista. 4 turnovers in the game, but they are down 2 scores, and we still have a full quarter plus the remaining 6 minutes here left. There's Alexander once again, and he will get a couple.
Inside carry brings it down to about the 3-yard line. Third and goal.
Changing up the personnel on offense for the Bruins. Looks like number 10, Jack Erick, in, bringing the play in for the quarterback, Sanchez.
So Aiden Alexander and Irick will go out to the right. 2 wide receivers to the left. Sanchez, he's going to look to take it on his own, and he will use that big frame and try and push his way into the end zone, but he's going to be stopped at the 2.
Get it down to about the 1.
So it's going to be 4th and goal from about the 2-yard line.
Let's see what the Bruins do here.
Again, the Bruins taking their time with the huddle. 4th and goal from the 2. And Bella Vista jumps in the line, but they're pointing at Bailey, and Bailey actually kind of spun around in disgust. I think he knew it was him, and so they are going to call the false start on Ponderosa. We'll back that up.
Big break for the Broncos. And I would imagine change up the play call here. What might have been a QB sneak is now going to have to be a run or a short little pass. No, they're going to line up for a field goal.
So Johnson's going to come in and attempt the field goal here from 24 yards out. Snap, the spot, the kick is on the way, and it just got over.
Field goal is good.
So the field goal is good for Ponderosa, and they now bring the score up to 22-7. It is still a 2-score game, so this one is not over by any stretch of the imagination. If Bella Vista can weather the storm of 4 turnovers, get some confidence there with that stand that they just had in after 2 consecutive turnovers, one ending in a touchdown, one in a field goal. That should give them a little bit of confidence there.
Yeah, I mean, again, I said a minute ago that was the worst case scenario for Bella Vista as far as a start goes. That was the best case outcome outside of no points, was only giving up the field goal because, as you said, it's a 2-score game still. There's a lot of game left to play. Let's see what the offense can do now.
So on the last kickoff, Damian Rickett fumbled on the kickoff return. And if he gets another opportunity, you know he wants to make amends. Mark Newton is the other deep man. And here's Johnson's approach. It's going Rickert's way again. He's got some running room. Rickett slipping a couple of tackles, and he shoots his way across the 30-yard line. So the 33-yard line for Bella Vista. And a chance now for the offense to get moving.
They've got good field position to start. Let's see if they can get that offensive game in the run game going right now.
And again, lots of time. 3:46 to go, third quarter. Farron is the lone setback. Here's Logan Farron. He's got some running room. Logan Farron to midfield and out of bounds in Ponderosa territory.
Big run. Ponderosa got lucky there. Caleb Smithy with a hit just close to being out of bounds there. Snuck away, which would have tacked on another 15.
That's 20 yards for Logan Farron and a first down for Bella Vista. They needed that more than anything.
Oh, huge play. Huge play. They're on the Ponderosa side of the ball now with momentum.
Mora. He wants to go deep. What a catch! Running room for Bella Vista. Points for Bella Vista. Touchdown Broncos.
What a grab. Kept his feet moving. Found the end zone. We got ourselves a ball game, George.
How do you like that? Just a couple of plays.
Yeah, just real quick.
Moore's about a 48-yard touchdown pass.
Call it 48 yards.
You know, I was a little hard on a quarterback earlier, George, with that backwards pass. He did an excellent job of reading his receivers, going through his methodology, and finding the open man for the touchdown instead of trying to force the ball to a receiver that wasn't open.
So Mora will attempt the extra point. Matthew Bunny will set it down. Bella Vista is going to kick the extra point here and attempt the 2-point conversion should they get another touchdown without further scores. The kick is on the way, and it is good. Timeout on the field with 3:33 to go in the third quarter. It is 22-14 for the Broncos. It's 22-14. Ponderosa leads, I think is what I'm trying to say. And 3:33 to go. The Broncos couldn't have answered better.
No, that was exactly what you want. Really, really excited from what I saw there. Cool, calm, and collected. You know, now we've got to do that same thing on the defensive side of the ball. I like the call to just kick the extra point. It's a one-score game. We'll worry about the 2-point conversion when we get there. Don't make all the points up at once.
And the last thing, what's the term they use? Chasing points. You don't need to be chasing points right now.
Absolutely not.
Time for Bella Vista's defense to come up big. Ponderosa has done a very good job offensively moving the ball. So here's Ryan Warner. He's going to squib this one. An up man will field it this time. And gets free. Gets by the first wave of tacklers. He's going to bring it down inside the 30, and just like that, the Ponderosa Bruins are knocking on the door once again. Maddox Chapman, the junior, is the one who found his hands on the ball. Look what I found. It bounced right up to me. And all of a sudden now Bella Vista has back on their heels once again on defense.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the
Bruins
squib
from the
kick
26.
is a call from the sideline or if that's just how the ball came out, but I would not have thought that a squib kick is where we would have been looking at this point in the game.
So shotgun formation. There's Alexander once again. Nice penetration by the Bella Vista defense. That looked like Damian Rickert that came up and made that tackle.
I think Rickett has realized that at this point in the game, he's going to have to step up and be a leader on this team, both on offense and on defense, to keep them in this game.
No gain on the play, 2nd and 10. Sanchez at quarterback once again. Here goes Alexander once again. He finds a little bit of daylight.
Flag on the play.
And a flag is down.
There's a flag on the play, though. See it.
That's probably going to be a hold where it was thrown.
So it is a holding penalty, so that'll be a 10-yard penalty against the Bruins.
Actually, that's a 10-yarder.
So they'll bring that out to the 36-yard line. It will now be 2nd down and 20.
2nd and 20 from the 37.
Well, that's one way to get some of the yardage back is through a penalty.
Alexander this time will line up right next to Sanchez. Sanchez is going to look to run it. And he's going to go nowhere, maybe a yard to the 35-yard line.
Back out to about the 35. Pick up about a yard. 3rd down and 19.
So that was well diagnosed by the Broncos. So this is now going to set up a 3rd down and a bunch.
You would expect the Bruins to look for a big pass here.
They've got 3 wide receivers to the left. Screenplay goes left and too far out in front of Smithy, the intended receiver. And I think for the first time tonight now, Ponderosa is going to punt the ball.
I think they're going to have to.
4th down.
Way too much yardage to go for it. But yet they're keeping their offensive personnel out on the floor.
And that could be their punting team.
Could be, you're right. With high school football, you never know. The quarterback might be the punter as well.
So it is 4th down and 20 yards to go. And you're right, they are lining up in the offensive formation. Sanchez, he wants to throw. He's going deep, leaping attempt, incomplete.
Good stop by the defense.
So that is a huge break for Bella Vista because now all of a sudden they've got themselves possession of the football at their own 35-yard line. Bella Vista High School would like to thank the following sponsors for their support of Bella Vista football: Citadel Roofing and Solar, Hairdresser, Nurex Plumbing, and Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort. Thank you very much for your support of Bronco Athletics. 1st and 10 for the Broncos. All kinds of misdirection. And that's Bernhard, who is going to be spun down for a loss of a yard. So it'll be 2nd down and 11 now for Bella Vista.
That was a what-if play. There really only seemed to be one defender, and he's the one that got in there. But had you had a block from him,
You can hear the wind picking up in our crowd mic. As night has fallen on Fair Oaks, California. 2nd and 11. Here's some running room for Bella Vista up near midfield. That's Matthew Bunny with the carry.
That's Bunny with a nice carry.
And that's going to be close to a 1st down.
He's 3rd down and long 2.
And so my apologies, I was 5 yards ahead of myself. That's at the 43-yard line, so it'll be 3rd down and 2 for Bella Vista as we are inside the final 30 seconds of the third quarter. And a whistle right as the ball is snapped.
Offsides is the call, but I don't know if it's on offense or defense.
Let's see what we got. We got a dead ball offside. On the defense, that's a first down for Bella Vista.
Big mental mistake for the Bruins.
And that'll be a first down, Bella Vista. Offside Bruins.
So 1st and 10 Broncos at their own 48-yard line. Broken tackle, and the quarter will come to an end on a 6-yard run for the Broncos, and they'll be looking at a 2nd and 4 when we begin play in the fourth quarter.
Momentum is definitely starting to shift. You can feel it. That last run gets them into Bronco territory. Excited for this fourth quarter and what we've got in front of us.
Okay, wow, a lot different now.
If you'd asked me 12 minutes ago, I was ready to pack up, but shame on me because this Bronco team has really responded.
Well, and especially opening kickoff, a couple of plays later, turnover, touchdown, Ponderosa. Ensuing kickoff, turnover, field goal, Ponderosa. They scored 10 points in that quarter. But this bend and sometimes break Bella Vista team, they're staying close. And so that touchdown that they scored late in the fourth quarter or third quarter has put them in a position where they're down by only 8. They just had a huge stop. And of course that was aided by some Ponderosa penalties, but still, it was a huge stop nonetheless. And now all of a sudden we enter the fourth quarter and it's anybody's game.
Yeah, I mean, I said earlier in the game when they missed that first extra point, Ponderosa I'm speaking of, those extra points can come back to bite you. And, had those extra points been made, this is a 2-score game. Instead, it's a 1-score game as we get set to start the fourth quarter here.
All right, so first play, Aaron Mora. Mora may take off and run with it, and he's going to be sacked.
Nobody open downfield.
Couldn't find the open receiver. And at that point, maybe he'd be, since he was out of the pocket, just float that one out of bounds.
Yep. They kind of looked for a receiver close to somewhere on the sideline and maybe gave it a shot or just tossed it out of bounds like you said.
And really, I think that at that point, Morris saw the field, and he's a mobile quarterback. He can run. Unfortunately for him, they just caught up to him.
Yeah, and I think if you're the quarterback, when you make the decision to run, you got to fully commit and go forward.
So they're going to keep it on the ground here, and we've got running room for Bella Vista. That's a first down inside the 35. Still on his feet, Bernhard.
Nolan Bernhard. First down, Bella Vista. The 28-yard line.
Down inside the 30-yard line, and just what the doctor ordered for the Bella Vista Broncos, a huge run by Nolan Bernhard, and a first down for the Broncos.
Ponderosa's going to call timeout, George. They are not happy.
I don't blame them at all at this point. They got to be feeling like they're on their heels right now. This game has shifted dramatically.
I think we're going to see some more points scored in this quarter, maybe by both ball clubs, but certainly you can feel the momentum shifting Bella Vista's way.
Crowd back into it. The band, as you can hear them making noise on the field as well. All right. So it is 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. Inside handoff.
Nice inside
Down
clearance.
inside the
Quick
25-yard
pass,
line.
25-yard line. Picked up about 5 in the play.
And that's
Second
Farron
five
with the
for the
ground and
24.
pound. Picks up half the down distance.
And he is their ground and pound guy. We talked about at the beginning, pound the rock. That's what they need to do. And there he goes again. Logan Farron found an opening off right guard, and he has a Bella Vista first down.
That'll move change. 1st and 10, Bella Vista from the 17.
So we talked about it at the opening, Aaron, that the Broncos, especially last week, may have found that ground attack that was a big question mark after Carson Newman suffered the injury. And is led by Logan Farron. Here's an inside handoff coming left side. That's Bernhard. Bernhard tightrops the sideline. Touchdown Broncos.
And we are a 2-point conversion away from a tied ball game here in Fair Oaks. What a game, even with all these turnovers. And we got a good shot at this being tied.
We'll see what happens with 10:02 to go in the 4th quarter of play. The last 10 minutes of this game is going to be a lot of fun. So the Broncos will keep the offensive formation out there. Here's Damian Rickert. Rickett finds the opening, and for the 3rd time this season, Damian Rickert converts a 2-point conversion.
We are tied at 22.
Damian Rickett is averaging 1 2-point conversion per game.
That's got to be some sort of a stat, right? I mean, that's, wow.
That is his 3rd, one in each game. You don't see them running that play on offense a lot. They have, and limited success, but on the 2-point conversion, it's working.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing. At this point in the game with 10 minutes left, it's 0-0, right? We're back to square one again. It's anybody's ball game. But you'd have to believe that the momentum is all Bella Vista at this point.
So Warner has it teed up at the 40-yard line. Time to boot this one away. Mr. Bailey and Mr. Smithy back deep, but this one is going to go out of bounds. I don't think that's what Ryan Warner wanted to do.
No, that's going to give the Bruins good field position to start the drive.
And I think if it's deeper downfield and goes out of bounds, it comes out to the 35-yard line. If it doesn't quite make the 35, they're going to spot it where the ball goes out of bounds.
Yeah. Well, now they're moving up to the 45, but.
And they may say that's where it went out of bounds, or maybe they're assessing some penalty yardage as well.
Wow. So a really favorable position here for the Bruins to start this drive.
Well, this is time for the Broncos defense to come up big.
Who's going to be the playmaker for the Broncos?
From the 45-yard line. That's Smithy coming in motion, and he takes the inside handoff, and he finds an opening, slips some tackles, and he will cross midfield. That's a pickup of 6 for Smithy.
Smithy with the carry, they move inside Bella Vista territory. Just crossing the midfield line at the 49-yard line. 2nd down and 5.
It looked like they might have him at the line of scrimmage, too.
It did. It just seemed to kind of snake his way through there.
2nd and 4 from the 49-yard line. Here's Sanchez, all kinds of running room, and they finally drag him down. A touchdown-saving tackle inside the 30-yard line.
Quarterback draw by Sanchez. It's a big gain. Takes it out to the
That was a smart play by the
27-yard
Bruins. You
line.
line up with trips,
First and 10
which
Bruins.
they've been throwing all night, and you do a quarterback keep right up the center. You've got all your defenders out on the outsides now, opens up the middle. Easy yards for the quarterback.
So now they find themselves knocking on the door at the 27-yard line. Just under 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Aiden Alexander out to the left. They're kind of dropping off him on the coverage. Handoff goes right up the middle. And that's Dylan Alexander, who has stopped after a gain of about 3.
It's probably a little early to start talking about the clock, but with all of this running that's going on, that clock is clicking off at a quick rate.
Well, Ponderosa, they've got a really well-balanced attack. They can throw, they can run, and they run very well. And they know that they can move the ball against Bella Vista. They've done it all night. Sanchez back to pass, and he has that one rejected back toward the north end of the stadium.
Knocked down by Rickett.
Damian Rickett comes up big again.
The third down.
Probably the biggest play on defense for the Broncos so far this drive. Batted ball.
So it'll be 3rd and 6 now for Ponderosa. It's probably 4-down territory at this point, especially since they went for it 4th and 15 a few plays ago. Irick is now in the backfield. Handoff right side. And that's going to be a gain of maybe a yard, possibly no gain for Dylan Alexander.
So the question here is, you know, they kicked a field goal last time. How good is their field goal kicker? I don't know that he's this good, because the offense looks like it's staying on the field here for 4th down.
Yeah, and you know they went for it on 4th and 15.
They did
a little bit earlier, so
Yep.
you know that they're not afraid to do that.
Well, I mean, and this would be
a 40-yard attempt.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big kick in high school. So probably have a kicker that doesn't quite have a leg for that. And with 7 minutes left, you probably want to try to get this touchdown and put the pressure on Bella Vista.
Like a timeout. Back when I was broadcasting games up in Reading, Shasta High School had a kicker by the name of David Dittman. They'd send him out there for that because he had the leg.
Wow.
He later went on to play for Shasta College and kicked a game-winning field goal in excess of 50 yards in that game. And he's a pretty good punter, too. So David Dittman, if you're out there watching, yeah, I remember.
Well, you know, this is a huge play for the coach. And, you know, in the NFL and college, we'd say this is why the coach gets paid the big bucks. They're not getting paid big bucks in high school football. Many times they're volunteering hours and hours of their time, and they're just trying to do and make the best call here so that their team has a chance. So a lot of pressure on that head coach right now.
Well, it is 4th and 6. Bella Vista had a 4th down stop just a few plays ago, and it led to a touchdown. So Irick is in the backfield along with Alexander. Sanchez back to pass. He's under pressure. He's looking deep. He overthrows everyone. Incomplete. And the Broncos, on the second consecutive defensive series, come up with a 4th down stop And with 6:56 to go in the ball game, they will take possession on a night where they have moved the ball offensively almost at will.
Well, and I want to give a special shout out on that play to number 55, Devin Crichton. He plays on the offensive line, and he was all over Austin Sanchez on that play, forcing that throw to be overthrown, and now the Broncos have the ball back. So
Bella Vista's defense has done good things
very good tonight.
when they have put pressure on the quarterback. Handoff right side and a pickup of a couple of yards, maybe a yard to the 25-yard line.
And they just fell forward for a yard. Take it down to 9.
So Mora will jog his way into the huddle right now. Damian Rickett will go out to the left. Some misdirection. And Bernhard turns on the burners. And he's across midfield down to the 45-yard line.
Big block on the left side of the line by number 66, Anthony Sampignaro, that opened the hole for Bernhard there. That's a junior that came up in a big way on the left side of the line there.
Anthony Sampagnaro's brother Joey played for the lacrosse team last year and the football team, actually. Unfortunately, Joey suffered an injury during the lacrosse season and wasn't able to finish the year, but a nice play by Anthony Sampagnaro. Handoff goes inside, breaks off the first tackler. That's got to be Logan Farron. He would not be denied.
Good spin move there. You know, going back to the Sampagnaro boys, you know, Joey is considered to be the more aggressive one. I didn't see anything that wasn't aggressive out of that block by Anthony right there.
Well, maybe big brother's taught little brother a couple of things.
He might have.
Yeah, who knows. Pickup of 2 for Logan Farron, 2nd and 8. Farron the lone setback. Rickett in motion. Mora is looking to keep it. Gets by one man, cuts upfield. Mora's on his feet, and he will bring it down close to the 41-yard line. That was quarterback keeper all the way. That is going to bring up a 3rd down and 6 after a gain of a couple of yards for Aaron Mora.
I haven't seen that play, George, and Damian Rickett was running alongside him almost like it was going to be an option play. So I don't know if it was a designed option or a quarterback run all the way. But regardless, got a couple of yards there for him.
So now things have slowed down quite a bit as Bella Vista comes out of the huddle. 3rd and 6. Split backs in the backfield. Running room for Bella Vista. That's Bernhard again. Nolan Bernhard, touchdown Broncos!
What a run! What a run by number 2. He is having himself a game.
And with 4:31 to go in the ball game, the Broncos have the lead for the first time tonight. There is a lot of time left. Mora will attempt the extra point out of the hold of Matthew Bunny to go up by 7. And Mora boots that one through.
Big extra point there, too, because now they're up by a good touchdown, right? So you miss the extra point, touchdown and a conversion wins the game for Ponderosa. Now you're really forcing Ponderosa to have to move the ball.
So the Broncos, the last 2 defensive series, have made 4th down stops. What is going to happen here? The last kickoff went out of bounds and gave Ponderosa really good field position. You know Ryan Warner wants to really get his foot into this one.
Yeah, get it down the field here, please.
Smithy and Bailey are back deep. This one's going to bounce, and is that going to go? That's also going to go out of bounds.
But at least with this one, they should get it at the 35, I think, right?
Yeah, we're not gonna see too much beyond that. So
That would have just kind of dead balled right there. That'd have been even better. But
well, and again, this is one area of, we talked about the running game, but this is one area where they missed Carson Newman.
yes.
So as he handled the kicking duties.
Went out of bounds.
Are they going to, it looks like they're going to have him kick it again.
Oh, they're going to elect to kick, which is their prerogative. They want to try to return the ball here.
Clearly they've chosen to re-kick.
I mean, that could be the only reason you would have them re-kick at this point, is that you want a chance to return the ball.
Yeah, because otherwise you're going to get good field position here. And this is another opportunity for Warner. It looks like Ponderosa's a little confused on where they can line up. There's the kick. This one's right down the middle of the field, picked up on the fly by Smithy. Smithy has some running room. He breaks off one man. Caleb Smithy, he's got all kinds of running room, and that is why you have them kick it again.
Exactly.
Touchdown Bruins.
You can hear the Ponderosa faithful across the way making a lot of noise. So that just took 10 seconds.
Yep. But because Bella Vista's up here, this would tie the game. Put you in a much favorable position than where they've operated most of the game, which is behind.
Boy, we've seen just about everything tonight.
We have indeed.
There's a bit of a delay here. Johnson, I guess they were trying to get the football.
They need that. Well, they need their ball.
They kind of need that to make the.
Yeah, the return was with the Bella Vista football. They need their own football to kick now.
So Dylan Alexander will set it down, and Johnson will kick. Snap, spot, kick on the way, and it is good. So 4:20 to go in the ball game. We have ourselves a 29-29 tie.
Old barn burner, as they would say.
Bella Vista
29-29.
has been moving the ball. I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but they've been moving the ball well all night. The thing that I wonder, and we just saw Aaron Mora just blast the heck out of that extra point. Can they use up all 420 and either put the ball in the end zone with very little time left or set up a possible field goal for the win?
Yeah, I think if you're Coach Gray, you really have to start thinking now with 4:20 left. How do we chew up some of this clock, go down here and score with a tied ball game? You absolutely can't afford a turnover here, a costly penalty like a personal foul, anything like that at all. That probably goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyways.
Well, and unfortunately, that has been the case. Bella Vista has turned the ball over 4 times. Well, they've turned it over 4 times tonight. Ponderosa's turned it over once. And we're in a tie ball game. I must say, the first 2 home games of the year for Bella Vista have been very entertaining.
They have indeed.
Here's the kick. It's going in Rickett's direction from the 10. Damian Rickett, he's got some running room. And Bella Vista will take possession at the 30-yard line.
31-yard line. First and 10, Bella Vista.
Bella Vista High School would like to thank the following sponsors for their support of Bella Vista Athletics: CCC Remodel and Landscape, Ultimate Exposure, Talbot and Plew Orthodontics, and Sam Brown Salon. 4:13 to go. First and 10, Bella Vista. Here's the touchdown man. There might have been a face mask there. as Nolan Bernhard
First
brings
down
it out
by
to the
Vista.
45-yard
Up to the
line.
45-yard line. That was Bernhard.
Somebody's hand got very close to his face. But that's a first down for Bella Vista, a pickup of 15. And if you're the Broncos, you want to take as much time as possible. Here's Farron. Farron will pick up 4.
You know, I'm okay taking up a little bit more of the clock, but one thing that I want to make sure that we absolutely don't do is stop doing what's gotten us here. Right? Running the ball, being aggressive, that has to continue. I see too often in high school football especially, the game gets close and suddenly you change the game plan. Just keep doing what you're doing. Trust in your team.
Well, it was one of our keys to the game tonight, pound the rock, and they have been doing it and doing it well tonight. And Farron is met in the backfield there and dropped for a couple of yard loss.
Good play
That
by the
looks
defense.
Looks
Breaking
like
through
that
there.
was Aiden Alexander that came through to make that stop. Under 3 minutes to go. 3rd down and 7 for Bella Vista, just shy of midfield. Mora hasn't thrown it a lot tonight. Does have a touchdown pass to Damian Rickett. And we got a running play here. There's Bernhard again. He's got first down yardage. Nolan Bernhard will be dragged down from behind inside the 10-yard line.
Well, tackle from behind, around the head.
Inside the 10.
Really dangerous tackle. The horse collar rule was a little bit different in high school this year.
That's Bernhard.
You have to be in the back of that collar and yank them down, which the defender did not do. He just kind of headlocked them to the ground like a small colt in a wrangling competition, if you will. Not a penalty, just a dangerous tackle is all.
Approaching 2 minutes to go in the ball game. And again, now Bella Vista's taking its time on this possession.
Absolutely.
You almost want them to not score quickly. And in motion, here's Farron. And Farron will be dropped for about no gain.
Tackle in the backfield by Alexander.
You know, you've asked a lot from your offensive front tonight behind all this running, but you really,
About a yard, second down and goal
if you're your
still.
quarterback, your running back, you got to ask for them just to do a little bit more here to get this ball in the end zone.
Ponderosa with just one timeout left. 1:20 to go. 2nd and goal from the 9. Here's Bernhard. Bernhard right up the middle, and he'll bring it all the way down to the 1-yard line.
They get it to about the 2. 3rd down and goal.
Where they're going to mark him. Looks like they're going to spot that right at about the 2-yard line.
And the clock is under a minute to play here, George.
And now Ponderosa, I'm guessing, is going to take this. No, Bella Vista is going to take the timeout. So that's their first timeout of the game. This is exactly what we talked about, Aaron, about
Out
how
of the field.
you use that time left. And they've done a really good job of that. Save for another kickoff return, Ponderosa's going to not have a lot of time left.
No, they're not. I mean, you know, if we go back 2 weeks, we had commented about how often and early Bella Vista used their timeouts. Ponderosa's done the same thing tonight. They have one timeout left. And they probably are hoping if Bella Vista can get in here and score quick, they need that timeout to try to move the ball back down the field. So, you know, if you're Ponderosa, I also think you got to consider, do you let him into the end zone to have a shot because you have a throwing attack, and we know that.
Well, if you're Ponderosa, you got one timeout left. It's 3rd and 2. 3rd and goal. So if you stop him here, then it's decision time for Bella Vista. And if you're Bella Vista, you probably really consider kicking that field goal.
I think so. Well, we'll see. Let's hope they can get in on this play.
So Farron and Bunny in the backfield. The give to Logan Farron. He's pushing his way forward. Touchdown Broncos.
now you really need this extra point here. You know, I don't want to make light of this. This extra point is significant. There's still 31 seconds left in this game.
And the clock continued to run after the touchdown. Probably a good 3 or 4 seconds may have gone off the clock.
Yeah, scoreboard
before they
operator error
stopped
there.
it.
Yeah, so
in fact, the official, I think, is talking now with the Bella Vista sideline to ask them to relay up to the booth to put some time on the clock.
but given that you had a kickoff return for a touchdown, the last kickoff the Broncos had, the Bruins ran it all the way back. You really need this extra
So
point to go in.
3-9. It looks like they're saying 39 seconds.
So we'll give the scoreboard operator a second to get that set. And now we're back to 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
That's not right.
There's going to be 39.2 seconds left in the game.
39.2 seconds is what we're saying.
There
It is. We got it all set.
Although I'd be happy for another 4.5 minutes of football here. It's been a great game.
This has turned out great. Yes.
It's been a little sloppy, but we'll take it.
Matthew Bunny will put the ball down at the 10-yard line. Aaron Mora looking to make this a 7-point game for Bella Vista with 39.2 seconds to go. Spot, kick. Perfect.
That's the point is good.
35-29.
Bella Vista 36, Ponderosa 29.
36-29.
Yeah, with the extra point, yeah.
Yes.
So we're
Get my math skills going here. Okay, so Smithy and Bailey will be back deep to receive for Ponderosa.
And if you're going to squib kick this, you got to get it on the ground. You can't line drive kick it to somebody.
The last thing you want here is another return for a touchdown.
Here we go.
Kick from Warner. Almost looks like he intended to do that.
Yep.
Did they make him kick it again?
Well,
It worked out last time.
If I'm Ponderosa, I absolutely make him kick it again.
If you recall, he did squib one earlier that was picked up by Maddox Chapman early, and he had a nice little return.
Well, and all signs here point they're going to make him kick it off.
They are.
So now they're going to be backed up. So instead of kicking from the 40, where they normally would kick,
Looks like Kai Brown has come over to kind of give some encouragement to Ryan Warner here.
so we're going to kick from the 35 now.
Ryan Warner's kicking duties tonight have all been on kickoffs. Bella Vista has not punted. Neither has
true.
Ponderosa.
We've had no punts in this
We
game.
have absolutely no punts in this game. I think we're going to make it with no punts.
I don't see a punt coming now.
Now he'll just bounce this one on the ground, and that one goes off of Smithy. Loose ball. Not sure if his knee touched, but they didn't say that it did. He crosses the 20-yard line.
Flag.
And there is a
20-yard
flag.
line. That's probably going to be a block in the back, though, because the ball went behind the receiver there.
That's
my
usually
guess.
what that flag indicates on any kind of a kickoff. So
is
Ryan Warner on the second kickoff there gets the job done. Personal foul, face mask on Bella Vista.
Oh, well, that's not good.
So that is going to give Ponderosa possession at the 39-yard line. 33 seconds to go. 61 yards from pay dirt.
You know, you hate to see that face mask. I mean, player safety is important, but there's been 2 called against the Broncos tonight, and you and I from up here in the booth have seen a couple that maybe were missed on the Ponderosa side.
Wide receivers to either side of the field, and a timeout for Bella Vista.
Timeout Bella Vista.
Yeah, you hate to see that with penalties that can make such a big difference in the game. Especially on a couple of the runs, looked like hands were pretty close to face mask that were no calls. The two that have been called, unfortunately, have gone against the Broncos.
Well, thank you for everyone sticking with us tonight. We've had a few glitches on our live stream tonight, though hopefully when we're back here for homecoming, we'll have all of that ironed out. But we greatly appreciate you sticking with us tonight. We had to go down for a little bit. We came back, and hopefully you've stayed with us and have enjoyed this presentation of Bella Vista football tonight on YouTube. This has been just an absolutely fantastic contest this evening.
This is what you want with high school football. It's coming right down to the wire.
So Sanchez, he's got Smithy and Irick to the right.
The pack judge is all the way at the 20-yard line here, anticipating a big throw.
And two more wide receivers to the left. You probably want to try and find Bailey. Sanchez, left side. Completed pass. Out of bounds. At the 45-yard line.
And the clock continues to run there because he started the tackle inbounds.
So they continue it. Ponderosa does have one timeout left, and of course they didn't get the first down. Clock is running.
They're wasting a lot of time.
They are wasting a lot of time. They got to call that timeout or run the play here. They're going to spike it. Wow.
Why did they call timeout there?
You got one timeout left, unless the scoreboard is wrong.
Yeah, I mean, we're going based, folks, on what we see on the scoreboard, but, I mean, they lost 15 seconds.
That's a good 15 seconds that they lost. So now we got some whistles here. There may have been some confusion, but the referee is supposed to come and wind that arm.
Well, the tackle clearly happened in bounds, and the Bronco defender clearly tried to pull him in. That clock, by rule, should continue to run.
Now, there may have been an attempt to call a timeout. The referee's going to come over here and signal something. We got a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Ponderosa.
Unsportsmanlike against Ponderosa.
And that's going to be, I don't know who that's on, but that is a huge penalty. I don't know in high school if they have a 10-second runoff rule, but if they do, that's the game.
Well, except that they spiked the ball.
Oh, it was a dead ball. Yes, dead ball. Thank you. Thank you for correcting me there. That's correct. Because they spiked the ball.
And but you're right. I'm not sure about high school and the 10-second runoff.
Yeah, had they not had the spiked ball there, I don't know. I'd have to brush up on my homework before 2 weeks from now, George. My favorite cheer from the student section. You can't do that.
You can't do that. Yes.
It's simple and yet so effective.
So from the 30-yard line. So
what is it? 1st and 20 now, right?
First down and half the distance to Lodi. Here's Sanchez. Under pressure. He uncorks it. Damian Rickert knocks it down. 2 seconds to go.
And barring a defensive penalty, this should be the last chance for the Bruins.
You know, if Rickett intercepts that ball.
Oh, this place would have gone nuts.
Well, but there wasn't anyone in front of him.
Yeah, that was a pick six all the way if he gets his hands on it.
I mean, the most important thing is to make sure the other guy doesn't catch it at this point.
Right.
This is the game right here. Ponderosa 70 yards from pay dirt. Trips left. Bella Vista rushing 3. They get the pressure. Sanchez out of the pocket. He's stepping up. He's letting it fly. It's caught. But the tackle at the 40-yard line, and the Bella Vista Broncos overcome 4 turnovers, overcome a 2-score halftime deficit, and they will waltz out of here with a 36-29 victory in week number 3.
What a game. What a game. This is why you got to love high school football.
see the handshakes here at midfield. What a game for Bella Vista tonight. If there's ever an example of never say die,
Yes.
that was it. No matter how bad things are going. We talked about it at halftime and in the third quarter. No matter how bad things were going, Bella Vista was still only 2 scores down.
No,
And all they needed was some stops.
They never gave up, and that's what you want in a football club.
So, big one tonight for the Broncos.
Woo! Heart rate, I got to get my heart rate down just a little bit. That was
Get
their
that blood pressure cuff.
Yes, yes. What a game, though. I mean, and really, in high school football, you're going to have mistakes. They overcame those mistakes, and they did what they really have struggled to do in week 1, and even a little bit week 2, which was run the ball consistently well the entire game, and they did that tonight, barring the mistakes. Who knows what that score would have been?
Yeah. Well, and again, all of the drives where they turned the ball over were promising drives. They were moving the ball with of course there was the kickoff, but the other 3 turnovers, they were moving the ball really well.
Correct.
And you're right. They could have won by a lot more than 7.
Yeah. I just, what a great way to be 2-1 going into the bye week, homecoming the week after. Just, pivotal things.
We will be back here on YouTube with the live stream when Bella Vista and River Valley battle it out for homecoming, and we will be here bringing you all the festivities, the game, any halftime activities. Maybe if they do something before the game, we could probably pick that up as well. Join us, please, on September 15th, Friday night, for a very special evening as Bella Vista and River Valley will match up for homecoming 2023. Once again, the final score tonight, the Broncos 36 and the Bruins 29. That's Aaron Keogh. I'm George Tharlson. Thank you to Miles Cantrell for his help tonight. Scarlett Thompson was charting some statistics, and we'll be working with her more throughout the rest of the season. Have a great evening, everyone. A great Labor Day weekend, and we'll talk to you again in 2 weeks.